Welcome to the World of Rare Disease, a show that focuses on awareness and education about rare and complex disorders. My name is Lisa Deck, and I'm a Rare New England committee member and your host for today's show. Today, our show features Lacey Smith, mother and caregiver to her daughter, Savannah, both who live in Salem, Massachusetts. Savannah, aged 8, has been diagnosed with Odgen Syndrome. She loves music, good food, and being outside. Welcome to our show, Lacey.
Thanks for having me.
I'd love for you to talk briefly about your daughter and a little bit about her rare disease.
Okay, so Savannah is an 8-year-old girl who, lives at home with me and her dad, and she is a student at Perkins School for the Blind, and she is very happy, and she's very laid back in a lot of ways. She's also a little bit feisty. She has been diagnosed with a rare disease we were diagnosed actually with Odgen Syndrome, but there's even some controversy whether now it's Ogden or NAA10, so we call it usually Ogden/NAA10 related disease. And she's one of 31 in the world, so she's pretty rare.
Wow, that is 1 in 31 in the world. My goodness. And I know you have told me she is the best little girl ever.
Yeah, she's the best ever.
That's wonderful.
She really is.
Awesome. Yeah. So I know in talking about Savannah and having a rare disease, things are different for her in a typical day. Things look different. And one of the things that when I spoke with you the first time, the coolest thing was some of the proactive advocacy you've been doing for her and on her behalf and with her. And I'd love to hear a little bit about some of those things. How are you a proactive advocate?
Well, do you mean in like the community as like
Correct.
Things that we do? So she's been racing with Team Hoyt New England for 3 years now, which is she loves to do that, and like she's riding in the stroller and her feet are out, and you can tell she's really happy.
Can you just explain a little bit about Team Hoyt for somebody who might not know?
Yeah.
I know because I've cheered on many a race.
Yeah, so Team Hoyt was founded by Dick and Rick Hoyt, who is a father-son duo who have ran tons of marathons, and they started the Team Hoyt New England. I think it probably originated here, where volunteers sign up to push a child who's not able to run a 5K or a even longer, and they push them, and it becomes this nice little community of families with children with special needs, and even the age range is little to older. So there's older adults that also participate, which is awesome to see.
And I know here in New England, there's definitely a familiarity. I mean, any race I go to, whether it's a 5K in our neighborhood, there's often Team Hoyt, or you go to the Boston Marathon and there's the team. And so that's a great way for her to be outside and experience that.
Yeah,
even though she is not doing the running, right?
Yeah, she loves it.
Yep. That's awesome.
And she's done the most recent and fun thing that she participated in this summer was Special Surfers from New England Epilepsy. And she went surfing on a surfboard that had a chair, an adaptive chair attached to it, and the joy. I mean, I have pictures of that are just amazing. Video. She loved surfing, so she's done some of that. We try to stay active. She's been skiing before. We try to do a lot of the stuff that really can be a little bit more challenging for families like ours, but I think it's important to give her the experience. This past weekend in Salem, we took her on some rides. They had a few, which was she loves thrill. So those are some of the things that we found really helpful.
And how did you go about finding those?
So when she was a baby, she had a teacher for the visually impaired come out, and she encouraged me to go to Perkins School for the Blind play group. Okay. And I think there is where I started to learn how to advocate for my daughter, because I was in a group with other parents who were on who are on similar medical journeys. And you really learn how to open up and talk about different things. And I think I found myself as a mom kind of in that place. And you just, I feel like I'm always trying to connect. And social media has been a great place for me. Instagram has been very helpful in the special needs world. I feel like you can hashtag and you can find people that are on journeys that are similar, and then you find more and more, and you just kind of find out about more things, which is great.
So that really takes, you being proactive and looking and finding, and that's admirable. But I'm sure there are also times that are challenging. And I wondered if you wanted to touch just about some of the challenges and things that aren't really fair for you or Savannah that you face, maybe not on a daily basis, but with a rare diagnosis and a special needs child.
I don't ever try to think of it as it's not fair for myself so much, because it's really her, and it's her that has to go through these obstacles, but we're just alongside her. And not to say it doesn't feel a little unfair at times, but she doesn't have the typical childhood, so I feel like that's a little unfair to her. She didn't have the ability to walk at this time or communicate her needs, and communication, I think, is going to be one of her biggest frustrational level of things that come about. For us as her parents, like, we support her, and the things that can be really hard are actually having the opportunities to do things other kids do, or the fact that she's, now 8 years old, and we're still carrying her up and down narrow stairs and through a narrow house. And, financially, I think it feels a little harder because, we don't, I always use like the example, we're going to need a wheelchair van at some point in our life. And that is not a car that I would choose, but that is the car that I need. And it's ridiculously expensive. So those are, you can't just not have that. You have to have these things to help your kids. So some of those things,
Yeah, some of those things are definitely challenging and tough to kind of come to grips with and figure out a plan for. I mean, you can't just go buy a van. Yeah, exactly. So it seems as though there is definitely challenges like that. I know too, I want to end on a positive note for sure, but I also wanted to mention the photo shoot that you had done with Savannah, because that's how I came to meet her and you, and I'd love for you just to mention that.
Yeah, so she was selected this past May to be part of Go Shout Love, which is a community that raises awareness for children on rare medical journeys, and she was one of 5 in the New England area, and it was a lot of fun to share like little bits and pieces, about her and kind of it's a deeper picture into what our everyday life looks like, but it's always, I always put her out there, she's fun to share. She's a beautiful little girl. And
even watching it, the smile and the joy on those pictures and with the music, and you just saw joy in her. So that's really commendable that, not only is she feeling that joy, but also that you're enabling her to have that. And I think that's being part of a great team.
Yeah, she's definitely, she's a happy girl. We're really blessed. I mean, it's, I don't know, a lot of families struggle with being in a position like this, I feel like, because it is hard to navigate. And I'm not saying that it's not, but it's just when you have the best kid ever, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of navigate that road with her, and just, love is what all of us want for our kids. So and acceptance.
And I think so much just listening to you, it's so apparent that you want that love and acceptance, and you're giving that to her. And that's just an amazing way to look at the world and look at life.
It's now, how do we expand that to, like, Salem, people in Salem don't know her. Like, how do we expand that as a community? You know,
Right.
a rare community. Communities. One of the best parts about being a special needs parent is that that's a strong community. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't know that I would have experienced anything like community-wise that's stronger, because they're, you know, not to compare myself to families that have children with typical needs, but you know that we're forced into this. Like, let's figure it out and move forward. And how do you do this? And how do you do that? Where, you know, it's just so puzzling and yet so rewarding when you have people that support your journey so much.
Right. Let's think about it, and I think you may have already mentioned this answer, but what is, when you think about Savannah, what is the day that she experienced the most joy?
Surfing.
Was it
Definitely.
surfing?
Like, yeah, she really, she loves being in the water for one, but she just had a great old time on. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, she's gonna love it or she's gonna hate it, and we're gonna try it. And if she doesn't like it, we'll be done. And you know, she surfed so many times that they said it's a little cold and she's shivering. I said, how about a couple more times? Because we were getting such enjoyment out of being her parents and watching her experience something like this, and watching the joy on her face that, you know.
Wow, that sounds so cool.
I
don't know how to surf,
cool.
And so I think it would be exciting for me.
Yeah, me too. I want to get on next time. We're going to definitely do it again next year.
Wonderful. Well, I was just about to ask about her future. And besides being a surf star, what do you envision for her future, the future of rare disease? What do you hope? I mean, tell me a little bit about what you see for that.
Well, I hope that we have our own rare organization near in the future. Just and that we learn and grow, and that, you know, research can help our children. And you know, for her long-term future, like my goal in life is that she's healthy and that she lives a long life. And one of the things I haven't mentioned, I realize now, is that when she first got the diagnosis, she was, you know, 4 almost. And, you know, one of the things that strayed me away from a geneticist at one point was the fact that they gave me kind of a life-limiting prognosis of what might be for her. And when I first saw that there was a 33-year-old living with her condition, I mean, it's like a whole new ball game, you know?
Right.
You know, so I just want her to live a happy and healthy life. Like,
Right.
And as far as the rare community, I hope we all get stronger together.
Correct. I would absolutely agree with that. And I think falling into this rare community, I have seen such strength in the community, and, you know,
it's incredible the amount
really
of
that, you know, hope and power.
Right.
And
Yeah. Inspiration.
It
I mean,
is. It's hard
between
to
the kids
explain.
and their families, it's amazing. So.
Right. So you had mentioned, I just want to wrap up with a couple organizations. So you had mentioned Team Hoyt. You had mentioned the Go Shout Love. What was the surfer?
Special Surfers.
Special Surfers.
Then there was Epilepsy New England.
Okay.
We've participated with New England Disabled Sports for the skiing.
Okay, great.
Dream Day on Cape Cod.
Okay.
I mean, we really try to get her out there.
And I think that's wonderful because, you know I personally love experiencing life. And so the fact she gets to do that, and that there are organizations helping that happen, I think that's what we, as Rare New England, want to share with the people watching. And,
right.
you know, because you just might mention it, and that gives somebody else
There are so many,
the hope.
like, awesome resources out there that really do take our kids and look at them, you know, as a whole person.
Right.
They are a person, and they make things happen that are incredible. That they take a lot more work, but you know, they deserve every opportunity that every other child does.
And it sounds like she has more opportunities than most children with some of the things she does.
She has more than I did.
Yes, and so
I've never been surfing either.
It's very awesome that she gets to do that, and you get to see that beautiful smile and bring her that joy. So, well, thank you again for sharing. And I think it's so valuable to our viewers to be able to learn about ways for themselves, if they have a rare child, ways to get them involved in doing different things. So it's a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It
You're
was
welcome.
a pleasure.
Great. Before closing, we provide our viewers with an opportunity to share comments or ask questions from our prior shows. R&E in Motion is the perfect way to expand upon our mission of engaging with our community. Please send us your comments and questions to info@rarenewengland.org. We will share your responses on our next show. We have a question wondering if Rare New England will be needing patients to speak in 2020. We are currently organizing our Rare Disease Day speaker series and are looking for patient speakers. If you are interested in speaking, please send us an email and we will get back to you. Thank you for your inquiry. That's all for our show today. From all of us at Rare New England and all the patients and families who keep rare disease in motion, thank you for watching, and remember, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, then think zebras. Thank you.